Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be building a large botanical garden using two of the LEGO Friends Botanical Garden sets. First thing you have to do is acquire two of these sets, of course, which retail for 100 Canadian dollars. I cracked both of them open and then I sorted all of the parts by part type. So here, for example, we have bricks and also some large glass panels. Check those out. Isn't that cool? Same with this one here. There are so many great parts in this set. It's actually wild. Then we have our plates. Included in that, some of these like really neat curved plates, also some larger plates, and then everything else, such as the 1x1s, also jumpers, arches, curved slopes, knot bricks, a whack of flowers. There are so many interesting pieces in this set. All the connectors, 1x1 bricks, 1x2 plates, mini dolls and minifig accessories, circular pieces, a bunch of windows, a lot of which are sand green, so that's nice, and then a massive bin of tiles there as well. We've got our two sticker sheets and our two instruction manuals, which we will not need because we're actually going to head over to Rebirkcalble.com where we can find some amazing instructions that were put together by Brick Artisan. So here's Brick Artisan's page. It's actually crazy. He has 165 sets now, and these are all custom built by him. It's wild. So he takes things like original Lego sets and converts them into other things. Like, for example, here's the Sanctum Sanctorum as a downtown library. Then he also builds custom things that can be put into Lego cities or even expand Disney castles. He's got so many different models here. Oh, I really like this one. It's the modular Diagon Alley. So he's actually taken the Diagon Alley set and finished it because Diagon Alley actually has an open back. Maybe I'll have to have a look at that. And you can see there's just all sort of like set expansions and retaining walls and all sorts of custom stuff here. It's actually wild. So the one that we're going to be building is the Modular Botanical Garden, which is just right here. But it's always fun just browsing through his page just because there are so many different models to choose from. It is crazy. Now, originally I thought I was going to build my own botanical garden using the two sets. So my plan was to crack open the first bag from both sets and then sort of follow the instruction manual and try and build a double version of it. I soon realized that unfortunately was not going to work. What I would have to do is build the original set, just like I did with the Creator 3-in-1 sets, like the Noodle Shop and the Surf Shop and also the Toy Store, etc. So build the original model and then crack open the second set and try and sort of double it based on the building techniques found within the original model. Because if you just try and follow the instruction manual, starting with bag 1 to bag 7, well, guess what? It's not really going to work because you don't really know what's happening when you're building it, right? It's definitely better to have the original model to reference, just like I did with the other 3-in-1 sets. So if I were to build my own, that's how I would do it. So I decided, okay, what I'm going to do is crack open both sets and part them all out like you saw in the previous clip. And then once it's all parted out, I'll try and take it from there. And then I decided to give it a quick Google because I know a whole bunch of other people have created this. And I came across LEGO Artisans, which was like exactly what I was envisioning. I was like, oh man, this is exactly what I want to do with mine. So if somebody's already done it, then why not just use theirs? So here is the Modular Botanical Garden set. It uses two of the sets, plus there's 103 additional pieces that you need to find in order to complete this. And he actually has his placed among modular buildings, and it looks really good. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, man, I may as well just build this. I already have all of the parts ready to go here. This design looks pretty amazing. I've already built so many different models from LEGO Artisan, I may as well just do this. So after you purchase the instructions, I think they're $8, you can download them, and they're just like LEGO instructions. So there are 103 additional pieces that you need in order to build this. You can very easily import those pieces into a Bricklink wanted list, or you can download the PDF version that looks like this here. I had all of these in my inventory except for these curved plates right here. But there's actually a way to substitute those and you actually don't even need them in order to build this model. So I decided to build mine on a Mills plate. Originally I made that Mills plate tan because I had lots of 16x16s, but I decided to switch it over to green because I saw some exposed spots where the green might have to be there. In the end, did it have to switch? Probably not. But it actually is really neat the way this is built because the whole garden is actually elevated off the ground by one brick, and then you top it with the 16x16 tan plates that came with the set. And also the water technique is amazing. The way that the frog and also the fish in the water are actually submerged in the water, and it's built using bricks and like these panels. Super cool building technique. I'd imagine most of these building techniques came from the original set. I didn't build the original set, so I don't really have much to reference in that regard. Like I was mentioning, I probably should have built the original and then sort of went from there, but it's okay. This is pretty cool because it references the original, and it's also like completely modular. It's a 32 by 32 base plate that could be put next to modular buildings or in the city somewhere, and I just think that is so neat. So I love the 2 ponds in the front of the structure there. It's amazing. There's lots of flowers inside as well. Lots of signage that is detailed using sticker elements. And then the curved shape of it is pretty nice. I also like the way that it has like the front wing and the 2 side wings and then the 2 angled doors as well. The sand green windows look beautiful. They're just really well framed with snot bricks and also curved tiles. And there's all sorts of amazing plant life as well, including these 2 large trees in the front of it with the pink flowers, and then also some smaller trees on the backside and also in the interior that use the green limb elements and also some of the yellow flowers. I actually really like the yellow flowers. They actually go on top of the stars and then on top of the leaves and then on top of the limb elements. It's really nice. The last thing that we have to do after adding all of that vegetation is create the dome structure that's going to sit on top of the botanical garden and sort of enclose the whole thing. The dome is really nice. I like the way it's constructed. And I like how it's actually complete. The original models wasn't complete. Now, of course, this thing's gonna like enclose the whole botanical garden modular building, which is super satisfying to me. Overall, a really good build, really easy to follow the instructions, and it's really well constructed, and I like the end product. We've got 2 beautiful trees here. Love the pink color. They're like cherry blossoms, all sorts of interesting part usage to create those trees. And of course, there's one on either side. I like the little bush up front here. It's like a little bonsai tree, right? Uses those green bird's nests. These plants right here are really nice as well. There's some great part usage there with the new fern element, and then also the like magenta leaf element and also the magenta frogs. And these are those ponds that I was talking about. So cool. Look at that. The frog is like in the water because that's the glass panels, right? And same with the koi fish tiles. It's placed on a jumper and then the glass panel goes over top. Then there's some brown ducks there and also like the, was it painter's palette for the lilies? We've seen that part usage before. And there's all sorts of sticker elements on black tiles sort of identifying the flowers. And this bench is really nice with the snakes and it's the same on either side. So it's like a mirror. Another bench. Some more identification tiles, another pond. One thing I will say is that there's not a whole lot of room to pose minifigures on the exterior, and same with the interior as well. Then the front has the sand green windows. Once again, well framed with the white tiles, that curved glass piece going over top, all sorts of printed butterfly elements, and light nougat like accent color, which is really nice. Angled doors on either side of the front portion here. So there's an angled door there with a sign over top of it and an angled door there as well. Some more sand green windows, little fountains that are attached to the roof canopy, I guess. And some trans blue coming down the side there. Some more windows in the back. And then some more trans blue. This almost looks like a waterfall, but I think it's designed to be like a glass, or is that a waterfall? No, that probably is a waterfall because it's coming down from the fountain, right? Then there's these really nice trees on either side. There's that part usage I was referring to with the stars and the flowers. Got a little mini one on this side. And then there's this same tree and that same tree inside as well. The canopy is a little bit delicate, but it's really well constructed with like these new glass elements. Well, new in my book, I've never seen them before. There's 4 of them there, and then it has the butterflies in the inside. I used 3 blue and 1 yellow. The instructions said I should have had a leftover yellow, but I must have misused mine somewhere, but that's okay. Butterflies are flying wherever they want, right? This can be removed very easily, just like that. So there's the canopy. There are some alterations that I did make to it with the tiles in the water there below the fountains, just so the tiles overlapped the 2x3 plates. I just actually grabbed some from my inventory. I used 1x2s rather than 1x4s just to overlap some of those plates and make it a bit stronger. I would like to like build it into the wall as well, just to make it a little bit stronger, like maybe have a plate of overlap, because this whole section here is somewhat loose. And then in the interior, we've got all sorts of details, such as all of these flowers, which I'd imagine all came from the original set. Like, look at those like saxophone elements in there, pretty neat. I can actually remove this tree so we can get in there and see some of the details. Not a big deal, we can remove those, and those are the same as the exterior trees. There's all sorts of awesome plants in here. Like, look at the shoulder pads there. It's like you'd use those on a minifigure, but they use them to create a flower, right? And also the orange mohawk there, the heart piece. And then in here, there's actually some succulents, and you can see the little sticker elements on the signs. So in there, there's some succulents, which really reminded me of the succulent set, so I think that was a pretty cool part usage to create those. And then it's the same on either side. I would like to like grab my own plants, maybe design my own and change it up, because we have succulents over here and we also have succulents over there. So maybe it'd be cool to go in there and just sort of switch up some of the plants. For example, some of these same flowers can be found in the front area. This can lift up so we can see in there, but you can see the same things in there. So it'd be nice to get a little bit more variety in there. And something else that I would like to do is maybe tile it off somewhat in there. I'm not sure if I like the exposed tan, but I think it sort of has to be like that because we have all of these curved elements, and it's hard to tile around curved elements. So I don't really mind it. However, it is pretty cramped as well. Like, the walkways are really tight, specifically in there. Be hard for a minifigure to actually go in there and check it out. But I think it's spacious enough. Like, it's, you know, it makes me happy. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with placing this in the LEGO City. I think it's a great adaptation of the set. And then there's also open walkways back here. It's like this archway pops out by the tree there where you have another sign. And that's the same on this side as well. So the dome is actually relatively easy to put back on. You can see there's two studs right there, that modified 2x2 plate, and then the same studs on the opposite side. And this just fits right over top. And then once you get it lined up correctly, you should be able to just push it down so that it adapts to those studs. And for the most part, you can actually do it with one hand. Hey, remember those pieces that I said you don't need, like these ones right here? So there's 4 of them that came with the set, but I didn't have the additional 2 that you needed to finish this. But I actually just made some minor alterations. It's supposed to be right there. Under there where that tile is, I put a 1x3, and then I put a 1x3 on this side too, and then a 1x1 on the center stud, and then the tile on top, and then it just sort of made it work. You can barely tell that those parts are required to go there. Like, you don't really see it from afar. So you don't need to order those. Those are a rare part. I wouldn't consider those to be common in anyone's collection, but everything else was fairly common. But I did have to steal 2 of these pieces. I couldn't find any anywhere, so I had to steal 2 from my ship in the bottle. So my ship in the bottle officially has, though it's not complete, and it also doesn't have any 1x1 studs to create the water inside. It's sitting up there looking all sad. But I wanted to complete my botanical garden. I value having a nice modular botanical garden in the LEGO City over having a completed ship in the bottle. So I had to rob the parts from it for now. Oh yeah, you also get some additional mini builds, which are right over here. There's a couple picnics, some selfie sticks, a couple books, 2 pairs of scissors, camera, and the watering can, which I really like, another bonsai tree build, and another plant. So it's funny, in the LEGO City, we have the Heart Lake City School set, which I custom built using the instructions in, I think, 5 sets. And then also Jose's Bakery, which sort of looks LEGO Friends-ish, right? And then on this side, we have the Activity Center, which is another LEGO Artisan model, I believe, and that was built using one of the Heart Lake City School sets. And beside that is an alternate model, which was another Rebirkcalble model, and that's built using, I think, the Heart Lake City Grand Hotel. So it's almost like there's a bunch of Friends stuff here. And now, of course, we have the Botanical Garden. So I'm not 100% positive where this is going to go exactly, but I think it's going to be positioned over here by all the other Friends sets and also the farm. I've been meaning to redo this whole area, just like upgrade the vegetation, add a farmer's market, and just sort of, I don't know, add more plant life over here to really make it look polished and complete. And I think this is going to be a great addition to this area. Now the thing is, because the entrance to it is actually right here and right there, I need some sort of trail or pathway that will lead up beside it. So it needs to be spaced probably in a spot like this here. This is 1.5 base plates. So we can have 8 studs on this side and 8 studs on this side, and then create some sort of walkway leading up to the entrance of the botanical garden. Maybe there's some more flowers on either side. And I think this will probably be the position of it. Does that make sense? If I push it over up against the farm, then there's no way for minifigures to access it. Or if I have another modular building up against it like that, then once again, there's no way for minifigures to access it. What I could do, I guess, is just replace these with windows. So change them from doors to windows. And then I could actually put a door here and have it so people walk in there right off the street. So I could customize it. And there are some things that I might be changing. You know, I might change some of those flowers inside, and maybe I'll change the door location. And then once they're in, I guess I could leave those doors as well. Once they're in, they can come out here, sit on the bench, and then go back inside, enjoy the pond, whatever it is. So maybe this just needs to change to a door. And then that would solve this problem, and I could have it sort of enclosed in this area, and I wouldn't have to gobble up another half base plate. But I think for now, it's probably best to have the 8 studs on either side, just to give it a little bit more space, because it is a garden. Then you can sort of match that garden feel on either side. But those are sort of my 2 options when it comes to placing this building. I know for sure it has to go over here, just not sure how to treat it. How do you think it should be placed in the LEGO City? Let me know by commenting below. And there we go. We have the modular botanical garden done by Brick Artisan, built and somewhat placed in the city. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff, and farewell.